week's beautiful and atmospheric episode of Naruto Shippuden, the Itachi Shinden arc comes to a head as we get to see the Uchiha Massacre in a way that we've never actually seen before. This week's episode was, without a doubt, the best episode of the entire Itachi backstory arc. Beautifully animated, great atmosphere, and it actually made Itachi seem like a much more human character. He's not just some weird automaton ninja who's constantly on autopilot. He's actually a living human who has a broken heart and constantly has to live with that fact after he is forced to slaughter his entire clan as well as his own parents. There were a lot of twists and turns for this episode, despite the fact that this is an event in the Naruto series, which we have had literally hammered into our skulls. The entire Uchiha Massacre is one of the biggest backdrops for the entire Naruto series, and what is effectively propels both Itachi and Sasuke in their respective storylines. But this episode had some twists and turns that I just absolutely loved. The first one being that apparently Itachi's father, Fugaku, actually has activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. This is a big, brand new fact which has never been brought to light before, and apparently, according to him, he has the power to control the nine-tailed fox Kurama, and he's going to use that as a deterrent against the Konoha village. There's even this one scene where he projects a vision into Itachi's mind, where they drag a young Naruto right in front of Fugaku, who then uses him to transform into the Nine-Tails and then suddenly go on the rampage. This scene is really crazy. The fact that his father actually activated the Mangekyo Sharingan. They make sure to let the viewer know as well that he got this ability when his friend was killed during the Third Great Ninja War. This really does change his father quite a bit, and honestly, I was sort of expecting there to be a battle between both Itachi and his father in this episode. There were certainly grounds for it. The fact that they were constantly at odds with each other, the fact that he was sort of losing faith in the clan, other clan members literally wanting Itachi's head on a pike, that scene where he confronts his father and throws the kunai knife into the wall. It's all building up to an amazing action scene, but it all comes to the same conclusion, where Itachi has to kill both his mother and his father. And the scene, just like before, is incredibly heartbreaking, especially with his father lamenting over the fact that he loved the village, but he loves his family more. And despite all the things that have gone on, the disagreements, the fighting, the war, the entire Uchiha clan getting ready to go up against Konoha village, he still was proud of his son, even when he was about to be killed by him. The scene is intense as it was before, and it was handled amazingly. That and getting to have a more intimate experience with the Uchiha Massacre made this one of the more visceral episodes that I've actually seen from the entire series. Incredibly heartbreaking. There's a lot of, little visual keys and moments in this episode that I think are really effective, like when the clan members are being killed, their blood being splattered against the window, or when that one member of the clan was killed, you could see his hand actually falling through the paper doors with blood splattered all over the place. Not to mention, Itachi himself is not alone. He is actually joined by Obito Uchiha, who at the time everyone believes is Madara Uchiha. And Obito just seems like he's having a field day with this. Like, he has no problem with going in and slaughtering all the Uchiha clan members, and the way they actually animate him moving is absolutely terrifying in this episode. How he basically sort of teleports from place to place in like an instant flash, especially the one scene where he goes into that one building with all the lights on. As soon as he walks in, all the lights turn off, you hear some commotion, and then suddenly everybody starts getting killed. He kills this one clan member right next to a window, and all you can see is the glowing eye coming from his mask. It's so freaking cool looking. Not to mention, Obito is actually the one who apparently took out Izumi Uchiha, the would-be love interest of Itachi Uchiha. Now, it hasn't been confirmed if she has been killed by Obito. Maybe he's actually going to use her for something later on in this arc. We didn't officially see her get killed. I'd like to think there is going to be another confrontation between both Izumi and Itachi. I have a feeling it is going to happen. That being said, this entire build-up to the Uchiha Massacre was so damn awesome. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and that combined with the amazing camera sweeps, the awesome visual visual styles that they were using in this episode just made this such a rich experience. And the episode ended with Itachi officially becoming a member of the Akatsuki, meeting Pain and Konan for the very first time, and the final shot of the episode, which is without a doubt my favorite, where you have all of the brand new members of Akatsuki gathered together at this cliff, and there's this one statue which has these hands up in the air, and you can see that Toby is watching from a distance as he's standing there. It's really hard to miss. And then you get to see that when we have the entire group shot of the Akatsuki, there's actually two members that we've technically never seen before. One of them we actually have seen. It's been a while, and he only appeared for a few seconds, but there's this one tall guy who's just there for a second, and then he just walks away. And then there's this one guy who goes by the name of Juzo Biwa. Juzo Biwa is a former member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. He was a part of a previous generation, and he was also a ninja who used the Executioner Blade. He looks very similar to Zabuza in many respects. He has the sharp teeth, but he also has this red paint all over his face. And if anybody remembers, he was a part of the group that confronted Guy and his father all those years ago, and they're finally going to expand on his character because after leaving the Seven Swordsmen, he became a member of Akatsuki, and he became Itachi's very first partner. Basically, Itachi is always partnered up with one of the ninja swordsmen from the Mist, and if the next episode is going to be any indication, not only is it going to build on their relationship, but it's also going to show us how both Itachi and Kisame actually met each other, and it also looks like we're going to be able to see the Three Tails in action when it was controlled by Yagura, who was the Kage of the Mist Village at the time, being manipulated by Obito, and we get to see him in a transformative state, which is very similar to Naruto's Four-Tail form, and it looks really awesome. I'm pretty damn sure it's the Three Tails. You can see like the shell on its back, the overall look of its face, very reminiscent of the Three Tails itself, and it just looks so damn awesome. I love the developments. I love the fact that we're getting new Akatsuki members that we've never seen before. It really is doing a great job of expanding on the Naruto universe, and that's exactly what fillers should do, and that's why this is the greatest Naruto filler as far as I'm concerned. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? This was an exhausting episode, but it was also an episode that I really enjoyed quite a bit. My favorite thing about it, aside from just the new characters who are introduced and the twist that Fugaku actually had a Mangekyo Sharingan, is very simply just the style. There were a lot of camera movements in this episode that looked like something from a Naruto movie. It didn't have the highest production value in terms of looking like one of those movies, but it certainly evoked that feeling. I also really just loved, again, going back to the style, like that scene where Itachi was confronted by the other clan members as they were getting ready to attack him and his father jumped in. Just the look of the sky had this like weird, almost ethereal yellow color to it, which kind of reminded me of stuff that you would see typically in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it worked really well for the scene and made it seem all the more ominous. And then there, of course, is the massacre itself, which in many ways was kind of hard to watch. The fact that a lot of the time when we saw flashbacks of the Uchiha Massacre in the past, a lot of the violence was mostly implied with just seeing Itachi hovering over the entire clan and everybody's just already dead. To see him actually in action, killing people with Obito, who also is just completely just destroying everyone in his path, is honestly one of the craziest scenes that I've seen from the entire series, and makes this a filler arc that you definitely need to check out. It's arguable whether it's filler or not. I'm going to take it for what it is, which is more entertaining episodes of Naruto, which, while misplaced in terms of where they are in the actual story, are entertaining as all hell. These are some episodes of Naruto that you should definitely not miss, especially if you're a fan of Itachi, because it's expanding on his character so much. I appreciate and love this character even more than I did in the past, all because of this filler arc right here, and that's a pretty damn big accomplishment. And like I said, on the technical side of things, this was a pretty solid-looking episode of Naruto Shippuden, which was just bleeding with amazing atmosphere and some great action sequences. And I am a little disappointed that Itachi didn't get to have a confrontation with his father, like when they had the Uchiha Massacre and they met each other in that alleyway with both of their Mangekyo Sharingan activated. I'm like, oh man, shit is about to get real. But even then, Fugaku has his honor and he has his principles. He will not fight his son, he will not have a fight to the death with him, and he will look out more for his family at the very end of the day. And ultimately, that meant his death at the hands of his own son, Itachi. It is beautiful, my friends. This is definitely one of the biggest strengths of the Naruto series. I did think it was a little crazy too at the end when Itachi was leaving the village and he was confronted by his two Anbu teammates, how he actually ended up taking them out. They tried to stab him from multiple directions, but he ended up getting them with a genjutsu, and they ended up killing each other all at the same time. Very reminiscent of Obito actually using his Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, except that Itachi is the master of genjutsu, and I just got chills when he was meeting Pain for the very first time in the cave, the fire, the giant statue in the background. This was a fantastic expansion on Naruto and Itachi's character, and this was a fantastic episode of Naruto Shippuden. So I'm going to give this one right here a 4 out of 5. I'm going to knock it down to 4 because there were some moments that didn't look as clean as the others. That being said, this was a pretty high quality episode of Naruto, which is not just a plain retread of the Uchiha Massacre. It's definitely worth your time, especially if you're an Itachi fan. So check it out, Naruto fans. You're bound to see something you like. But if any of you guys did watch this week's episode, why don't you tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Did you like some of the twists and turns? Like the fact that Itachi's father actually has a Mangekyo Sharingan? At first I was a little shocked and didn't like it, but as I was watching the episode more, I really started to appreciate that fact. And they didn't go too overboard with it either by having like a big ridiculous action scene, which didn't make sense within the confines of the whole Uchiha Massacre thing. And what do you want to see from the rest of the Itachi backstory arc, especially from this ninja swordsman from the mist? Make sure to tell me in the comment section below. You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching this review. I really appreciate it. If you would like to, please subscribe to the channel. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. And you guys can also check us out on social media. All that stuff will be in the description box below. Thank you guys again for watching. And as always, stay dandy, baby.